What's going on, gamers? So I have some comments to react to on a video I did yesterday talking about Xbox era is dead. We got some people in the Xbox world that I think focus on the wrong things when it comes to not being aware, let me get on the camera, of what I mean when I cover certain things. We're going to make this very easy by going down here. And the main post I want to focus on, of course, is Calm Chaos's. Then we're going to get to Miguel's post too. Well, his comment was fine because he's actually correct. So here's the thing. It's like, I think that when we used to talk about like how Sony could have been anti-consumer in times, it was okay during that time. Maybe Nintendo, sometimes I get why people say certain things, but with the way that this RAM PC market has went lately, along with SSD, along with the path that NVIDIA has went down, with Microsoft, with Samsung and Hynix, it's no longer plausible anymore. And you're going to see what I mean when I reply to this comment to Calm Chaos. I like that he comes to my channel all the time. I know he was there in the Xbox days too, and I enjoy doing that content. It wasn't like it was fake or anything. We don't do that over here. And everybody knows that. They know if I'm doing something, it's because I really mean it. Nobody wanted Xbox in this position. I definitely did not. I've been there since day one. So let me get that out the way first. And I don't think it's Phil Spencer's fault. You got to look way more into it than that. I think the people say that he was just pointing the finger at him, and it's like, that's all you see? I don't think so. All right, so Calm Chaos says, come on, AGN. I was like, okay. Nothing against him. Like I say, he's cool. He comes to my channel. Seriously, do you really think that Sony will act in the best interests of the consumer? If there's no competition, Sony will capitalize on this. Okay, first and foremost, this is what I mean by, like, I get what you're saying by if nobody's doing it, they can run around free and do whatever they want. But I'm telling you, Nintendo's more of a competition. And this is weird that Nintendo was never competitive. Dude, now they get all their third-party games. They dropped the price in Japan by $200 because of them. They did deals because of them. They are the main competitor now. Like, they're getting that third-party support, bro. Like, they're cutting into that third-party pie. They're going to be getting Call of Duty as well, too, this year. You can't say that anymore. It doesn't make any sense. That's it. Things have changed big time. And do I think that? Well, let me tell you what happened. When Microsoft became irrelevant last year more than ever, and Sony saw that, they still gave you $650 Pro for an entire month straight, bro. I want you to think about that. The PS5 Pro was $650. Think about trying to get a PC with that now, definitely when PSSR 2 drops. And then I want you to think about them putting the other consoles. Nobody else is dropping the price of their consoles. They put down to $399 for the digital, and then $450 for the other one. It was like in the middle of all this crisis. And then I want you to think about what Sony did by putting Helldivers 2 on Xbox. And they're destroying them, and there's no competition, but Nintendo is there. You see what I'm saying? Like, they didn't get worse. Sony actually got better from the beginning of last year. Microsoft was the one that fumbled their pro-consumer push and just went off to the deep end and destroyed everything. Jacked the price up multiple times. Jacked the price up of Game Pass by $10. They give you no wrap in the holiday. They give you no deals in the holiday. And it's a company that has more money than Sony and Nintendo and Sega and all of them put together. You see what I mean? And they did not do that. So when you ask me acting in the best interest of the consumer, Microsoft is significantly worse. Sony is much better. And when Sony was going on an anti-consumer spree, they kind of fixed that a bit. And they're doing that with a stomp to Microsoft, if you get what I mean. So, say Sony's not capitalizing, well, so far, they're not doing that. I'm not saying they wouldn't, but I want you to also think about the fact that Sony also, on top of that, and look, man, this is the thing, like, we really have to really look at this. Did not monopolize on the DRAM crisis. They came out and said, PlayStation, you see it. Come on, man. PlayStation is secure through 2026. And they didn't manipulate that and say, we're going to be jacking up the price. Though we're working on getting DRAM, but the market conditions are so bad that we're going to have to jack up the price of the PlayStation. They didn't do it. They could have manipulated on top of that. Microsoft did. Look, if you think about it, like I said, putting games on multiple platforms now, giving you an insane Black Friday deal for an entire month straight. They're still putting stuff on sale and not monopolizing on the DRAM crisis. They didn't do it. They said they wanted to secure 2027 too because they still want to sell more PlayStations. And they know GTA 6 is going to get them that. And they're intelligent. They're not being dumb like Microsoft when you realize that I could still get millions and millions of more people into my ecosystem, and they'll subscribe to my Plus. They'll buy my first party games. They'll buy third party games on my platform. They'll buy microtransactions on my platform. And I'm going to make way more doing that than pricing people out on hardware. You see, that's where Sony made a much better deal. And you got to think about Microsoft being dead last place in the gaming industry and still not giving you a deal. And they're still monopolizing, capitalizing. This is what I don't understand about the Xbox space. Like, why are you not seeing that when Sony has the upper hand and they still gave you those great deals? Whether you like the platform or not, that's not the point, man. The point is that they still did that, right? And you said Nintendo was never a competitor. But what you mean? You know how many times Nintendo stomped Sony in the handheld industry? Chased them out. During the Wii era, who you think won that? With the DS selling 154 million, they had a 256 million install base. You trying to tell me? Come on, man, you can't say that. Of course, in the American standpoint mentality, from having the specs that you want and maybe the type of game demographics, it was PlayStation versus Xbox. Everybody knows that, of course. Nintendo does not pay attention to stuff like that. But that does not mean that's not the case. So, PlayStation and Xbox came into a different market. It used to be that way. Now Nintendo has their market. And on the go. And you ain't getting their games. You can't ignore that, regardless of what you think. But I get what you're trying to say. So, also, Phil previously mentioned that Sony was not considered a competitor. I mean, come on, man. Let's not play games here. The whole time, the reason why Xbox came in the industry was to go against PlayStation. They made that quite clear. You say that when you're not winning anymore. So that's Microsoft that would be saying that Amazon and Google is competitor. But we're talking about video games here. We're not sidestepping. It's like, no. So this is what I said. I just literally replied to this 4 minutes ago. I said, bro, you know what the biggest issue is? The PC parts. NVIDIA and Microsoft. AI. I say AI goose chasing, not Sony. Sony's not... Man, when you think about that stuff going on, what is Sony going to do against that? Man, they can't compare that type of anti-consumer behavior. The prices of PC parts now affect the whole industry negatively. I'm not worried about Sony. You see what I'm saying? Because everything they're doing is going to make the PlayStation more expensive, the Nintendo more expensive. All the PC world's more expensive. Xbox Madness ridiculously more expensive. Everything getting delayed, though it kind of needs to, but what if everything was correct? You get what I'm saying? They have literally made the entire electronics industry. They're affecting your TVs now. They're going to your smartphones. They're reducing down the RAM. Like, that stuff is so anti-consumer, it's insane. It's like, I can't think about Sony doing anything when that is the problem right here. You see what I mean? That's why I feel like these topics before, like if we were at the beginning of last year, I'm like, yeah, okay, this could have been more relevant, but now I feel like it's minute. Just like the same thing of trying to say that PC is now a much better deal than console. It used to work, and I don't want it like that. I don't want to say that. I would rather PC still be where it's at. I'd rather Windows be better. That shit's crap. You see what I mean? We got bigger problems here where there's like a billion people on that compared to like talking about this stuff that's nowhere near the issue. So that's why I say that NVIDIA, Microsoft, and the AI companies and the RAM companies and the monopolies, that is what I need to worry about when we talk about capitalizing, because they're just being ridiculous. They turned it into the worldwide cartel in the electronic industry. This guy says, yeah, I don't see them being so benevolent. Sony for sure is going to run the consumer pockets next gen. It's like, but once again, like, I would not be worried about that, because the most important thing is to worry about those problems I just said, the RAM market, the SSD market, the AI market. That's the problems that's getting into the pockets and screwing you over when you invested into that for decades. So that's why I had to make this. I'm like, no, hold on. We need to realize how times have changed, and you have to adapt and realize what's the biggest fish to fry right now. So I can get what people are saying that. I mean, that's just natural response. If there's no competition, then it's just going to be like this. It's like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but that's not the case. Nintendo is the competitor. And it says, yes, they will. They would still have to sell product. Microsoft is the one who's anti-consumer, as I just said that. And he says, how are they anti-consumer? You see, bro, I can't take your comment serious now. If you can't figure out how Microsoft is not I don't know what to tell you, man. That's crazy, man. Like, in the Xbox world, I don't know what the hell's wrong with y'all's brains, man. So going down here, let's go to the next comment. Miguel says, loved Xbox for what it was, not for what it turned into. These suits destroyed Xbox. A real shame, abandoning their install base. 40 million is still a lot of customers if you're trying to get back to like Xbox One people still too. Because if you're at the Xbox Series, they're like 27, 28 million. And how many people are actually active out of that? Probably, what, 17 or something? It's, you know, still people though. The OG Xbox sold only 28 or 26 million. That's just the GameCube, something around there. They both managed to climb out of the hole. Microsoft put the nail in the head with the ridiculous "this is an Xbox" campaign. All that crap isn't an Xbox, only the real hardware is. Correct. Like everything they're doing is all over the place. And then here comes this Slady guy. Like I've seen him coming here before. How did they abandon their install base exactly? You can't see that and forced you to go to PC and priced you out. And put all their stuff and put the Halo, PlayStation 5 t-shirt. Like, I don't get it. It's in front of their face and they don't see it, y'all. What is going on over there? Sleeping at the wheel. Man, it's real, right? So, and then Palm comes in again. Nothing against you. Keep coming to my page, bro. Leave comments on this video. There's nothing wrong with the Xbox environment. See, this is what I'm saying. You're saying there's nothing wrong. There's no problems to fix. That's why it's like that. Because you had a base that literally accepts that. Like, what do you mean there's nothing wrong? Are you serious, man? It's the worst it's ever been. I don't understand. I don't understand how y'all are thinking like this. I just can't see how you don't understand how their ecosystem works. Dude, what are you talking about? Their ecosystem is on life support. They need Steam. They need PlayStation. They need Nintendo. What do you mean there's nothing wrong? That's like saying there's nothing to fix. Dude, there's always something to fix. There's always room for improvement. There is so much wrong with Microsoft. It's not even funny. There's so much wrong with Xbox. It's not even funny. It's unbelievable. Microsoft is a business, not your best friend. That's not the point, though. Their main goal as a business is to make a profit, but yet their market died. They don't sell any consoles, and they need to now be a massive third-party publisher to try to make the money that Nintendo's making on one platform and don't chase power. Same thing with PlayStation. Like, dude, what are you talking about? If you look, others are slowly following Microsoft's. No, they're not. No, they're not. They will continue to create consoles to follow the Play Anywhere model. You have to do that because you can't sell 10 million copies. So you have to pay for somebody's copy to be followed through and give them money. They're paying for that because they can't sell. And they're using the corporate fund money, but that stuff has a limit now. That's why they want that 30% profit margin, which is impossible. And their identity will be, this is an Xbox. They don't have an identity. That's called an identity crisis, brother. As you will see, the Xbox logo would be displayed whenever you launch a game from an Xbox studio, regardless of which device is used. Like, you're just parroting stuff, bro. Like, then he says, you can't see it because I never said anything about not understanding how their Xbox ecosystem works. Correct. I'm fully aware of the business model and how corporate BS works. I'm talking about all the negativity that they've done recently, like putting first-party games on other platforms, day and date. We gamers stopped. Microsoft bought all these studios to enhance their first-party portfolio and bring hard competition to Sony. But they didn't. And you got these never-changing headlines that never follow through. You got these roadmaps that are not half filled. You got the hardware being jacked up big time, point to push pro consumer, but you don't do that. Canceling all these things, laying off all these people. And like, they don't have to do any of that. Trying $80 when they should have never tried $80. Jacking up the price of Game Pass when they shouldn't have done that. Screwing you over big time. Like, I could tell you, like, they've went on an insane anti-consumer spree. Like, for like 2 straight months when they had things going. And then just Windows 11 updates just all over the place. Raising Game Pass 2 times, raising the hardware much higher than an original launch price, not using consoles full feature set, cutting corners left and right, leading to low scoring average games, monopolizing with Activision. Now they're worse than ever. Monopolizing Bethesda, they're worse than ever. Everything has tanked down. No sales are happening on any studios. It is bad. And then you should tell me there's nothing wrong in the environment. That's like not facing the music and realizing how much you need to improve. And if you're not doing that, then there's not going to be any improvement. There's going to be fake content creators, fake grifting, and no improvements. And then the stats are going to show. They don't give you the stats. They don't tell you the truth because you're not getting anything shown. They're hiding it from you. Hiding is never good. No, where? How? I could go on and on. There are some of the reasons Xbox fans felt abandoned. And now they're needing to sell 1.5 million consoles last year. Just fell straight off the cliff during primetime mode, which is supposed to be your 4th and 5th year. And leading into that for the 3rd year. And then 6th year, you're supposed to be finishing strong. And then you get ready to like see the decline at the end of the 6th year into the 7th year and launch your next product. But you're not seeing really any of that. And there's an abandonment. They already talk about the next console. They were getting ready to launch everyone for this RAM stuff. So, dude, you got abandoned multiple times. Halo got abandoned. On their last tournament, they did them wrong and put on that t-shirt. Like, there's so much abandonment there, it's not even funny. And because they have to adapt. You got to see it, man. We're just telling the truth over here. So you guys let me know what you think about this. If you want to add in some stuff, come and add in some stuff on the video. Personally, obviously, it'd rather been me talking about how much better Xbox is doing this generation, how good the games are, not seeming like AI slop, and how the competition this year between PlayStation and Xbox is going to be intense. But it's not like that anymore. It's now a publishing war about, oh, I can put my games on your platform, and then you can just see Microsoft up there on your platform, and you can feel good about that. But you're not going to be able to feel good about anything in an NPD because that's all gone now. You're not going to be able to feel good about Halo selling 10, 15 million. It's like, it's gone. And so you say that Microsoft is leading. It's like, no, they have to go that way. Sony doesn't have to do that, and Nintendo is not doing it. They ain't putting nothing on PC. Nobody following on Microsoft. They may use some of their ideas, but I think that Sony getting too much into Microsoft ideas somehow got them a little bit greedy, like charging for online and all that type of stuff. Think about the DRM with Xbox One. There's a lot of things they do that are not good. Why do you think they keep stepping on rakes? It's like nobody's following Microsoft because they're not in the same position as Microsoft. If they have a good idea, they may adapt that, yes. But I don't see why anybody would want to follow them in the gaming industry. They don't know what they're doing. You're not making any sense. Sony did not follow them. They put the PS5 Pro at $650. They put their stuff on sale. You see what I mean? They launched the PS5 Pro. They put SharePlay on there. You see, Sony's doing things differently. They're doing VR. They don't follow everything Microsoft does. Sony does a lot of things themselves. Now, there's some things that they've done before. You're like, yeah, that was Microsoft's idea. And Microsoft takes some of their ideas. And then they sort of go and take Nintendo's ideas. All of them follow Nintendo. You would follow Nintendo more than anybody. And it's like, yeah, I mean, because there's some things that Microsoft does. It's like, okay, that's cool. Like, they've had some ideas before. I'm not saying people haven't used that, but following them, no. And this sounds like some Xbox fantasy nonsense. All right, y'all, peace out. Keep gaming, no matter what platform you're on. Xbox gamers are still cool. That's not what this is about. This is about fanboy nonsense. Later.